Hi guys, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So today I'm going to be doing a plot review on my donator server. This plot has been created by a guy called StijniStan, who is one of my awesome donators, and that's why he's been able to get access to the entire server and built this very cool looking Futuristic D-Day. So is what it's called it. It's a bit different, and I actually haven't seen much like anything really like it at all. If you guys are interested in joining the server and getting onto some plots, there is a link in the description which will show you to either becoming a member or being Patreon. But also, if you want to get access, you can just do a super chat on any live stream, and that will get you access to it. So you know, pretty cool anyway. That's the way I'm trying to do it. Always just give me a shout on Discord if you needed to. So what we're going to do first is going to have a little bit of a tour, and then I'm going to talk about a couple points which I think can be improved. So it's up to you guys what you want to do if you want to look through it. Obviously I had a nice fly through at the beginning. I've actually turned off shaders just so you can see like this a little bit clearer, which is the effect that he's gone for, and I'll talk a bit about that later. But essentially, if you haven't seen this before, it is layered glass. So it's glass, then air, then glass, then air. And what it does is it creates this kind of really interesting effect. It's really weird because this doesn't work. That just gets really like solid. Actually, that didn't really work at all. But essentially, if you look down like that, it doesn't really work. It doesn't give it that kind of shading. But as soon as you do that, you can see this. It goes a bit darker. So it's that on a grander scale. So anyway, right, what we've got. Obviously, we've got a beach. There's been a lot of people have died getting onto this beach. I really like these, actually. I really like the little bits of bushes, the little bits of grass. And they use the sandstone slabs as well. They look really good. We've got two different types of dudes. There's obviously these guys, the greys, are attacking. And the black dudes in the kind of like diamond armor. I'm guessing the good guys, or, you know, they could be the good guys. I think they're defending their own land. So we've got the invaders, which are the greys. We're going to say the greys are the invaders. Obviously, they're not actually greys. They've got grey armor and they got the skeleton helmets. So yeah, here is the beach. It's a pretty big beach, actually. Personally, I would have liked to see it go a little bit more into this water because there's not too much in this space. There's a lot up in that bit, and we'll get onto that a little bit later. But let's have a look around. So we've got a couple different things. We've got these kind of like you know, stones that are on here. It looks like this used to be some sort of defense which has been kind of obliterated. Around here, they've got these kind of like green things. I think I'm not too sure what these are. Are these like shields, or are these like mines or something? It looks like there's something anyway, so they're trying to get through, maybe. But that one's on like a green blob there, so it might be like shields, or I'm not too sure actually. I have no idea. Who knows? So it's either going to be something where it's blocking you, because these ones look very much like they're blocking. These look like mines actually. So I think down there, that's got to be some sort of mine. So that's about to blow, I think. So that guy's gone, pretty much. Over on this side, we have some more skulls, lots of dead people. Again, some more defenses, which they've obviously had to fall back. I quite like this actually, that there's different stages of it. So this one's got to fall back. Again, I think mines, and these have got to be some sort of shieldy type things of some kind. And then here we've got like a bit more of a defense here. So this is their like other defense line they've got behind it, which I would have personally preferred to see it like shooting out, just so that they get like more of a view of this bay. I think it looks a little bit, you can see through, but it feels almost like if you were shooting, you could shoot through that gap, whereas actually even if it was forwards, actually you'd be able to shoot it. I don't know. I don't know, I just always imagine them being out. I think it's probably from castles and stuff like that. So in here we've got a couple little beds and a nice fire. We're currently on 1.12.2, which is why we haven't got the campfire, but I'm sure that would have been a campfire. Over here we've got some wood, so it looks like this bit here has either been like bombed at some point and destroyed, or they've completely dug it out as an area, but it does look like quite circular, so I reckon that might have been bombed at some point, you know, destroyed on that side. Same with here as well. So it looks like there was like another little area there, so it's either been bombed or they've dug it out in order to make a defense. If we wing around to like this side here, so we've got a nice big gun. There's quite a few. There's actually some really good gun designs, like futuristic gun designs. This is obviously shooting a yellow laser, and it looks like it's got a yellow shield as well on this. I think I probably would have liked a different color for the laser, just to make it look really clear that that's a shield and that's a laser, but still very cool. So there's a dude here on his big gun shooting at it, and look, he's even aiming it properly, which I quite like that as well. So that is quite cool. And it looks like they've got like a little bunker down here where obviously they can just hanker down. And of course, in like World War II and all those kind of things, they would always have these like little things here, which is quite good. And I really like these. I really like this design. I think that looks really quite cool. So with the end rods going across these two, it makes it look quite futuristic. But it does look like, there we go, they're storming it. So Whether they've, I'm guessing these guys have somehow gotten to the beaches, and that's what I don't really understand. I'll talk about that a little bit later. How have they got to the beaches? So they've got up onto here, and they're actually going to take that gun essentially. So what else we've got around here? We've got another like area on this bit. We've got some more guns. So they're just shooting at the smaller ships. We've got a nice big shield here. Again, the two different two colors. I would have liked two colors for the lasers. Or a different colour for the lasers to the shields, but I do like that there's different shield type designs, especially with the levers on here. I quite like that. That looks quite cool. So that does make quite a lot of sense, and also it doesn't feel like the, oh, we've opened, completely got the shields over it, and it's just engulfing the entire planet, and that's it. I quite like this at this like localized level where they've got just like local shields here. Maybe I would have liked to see it a bit rounded, but like the one over there looks really good because of its shape. I think that would have made it look cooler. Obviously don't know how it actually works, but whatever. So in here they've got some more of the gun type bits. I'm guessing they're like doing some repairs. French escape plan, the teleporter. Of course they're going to be escaping from there. I quite like how there's just like legs in that. I think that's great. I do actually think that's great. So that, I'm guessing they're just going to be disappearing into the air, maybe? Perhaps? I don't know. And we've got some more dudes around here. What are they doing? No idea. Let's have a look over here anyway. Let's have a look. So this guy here, he looks like he's pushing something. So is that a stretcher? I think that looks like a stretcher. And then they got another like little shield thing here. So this one, actually for the size, can be square. Doesn't look that bad at all, but it's missing a little bit at the top, but that might be intentional. Anyway, down in here, let's go down in. Would have liked to see a little bit of support on that, I think, because it looks a little bit too, dirt. I always think, it's going to fall in if it rains or anything like that. But it got a load of shulker boxes. I couldn't think of what they're called. We got the fire, the little Death Star, and that's like where you've got a nice big gun there. I quite like this, and this would take a lot of effort to actually build in, but design-wise is very cool looking. I definitely think that looks quite cool. And then of course it shoots. I don't know how. We'll have a look at that in a bit. I don't know how it arcs around, but yeah, that's quite cool. So then they've got this go up to here. Oh, maybe that's not a stretcher. Maybe that's a gun. Maybe that's a gun he's pulling out. I'm not too sure. I'm not totally sure on that bit, but So there we go. Anyway, got these guys. This is obviously a place where they are attacking. We had a look at that earlier. So that's like a pretty, that's one of the ways they can get in. This is actually a really good kill zone. So I would have imagined more people being here. So as they run in, where they're protected from this side, they've got to get to that single area where they've only like maybe 2 or 3 of them at a time can come in, and then they get completely killed. Definitely. And then over here we got another one of these. It looks like one of the shield type things, but it looks like it's down. So that's been taken out, and he's going, oh no. So he's in trouble. And then we got the fire the little Death Star 2. And that one goes zoom. So that was another like little laser type thing. I think this probably would be more protected. Like the other one, I feel like that's definitely protected. Definitely protected. Actually, I've completely missed out this bit here. So this actually makes more sense. So this one is really protected. Not only is it in the ground, but also you've got this here. So I think it'll probably have more guns and stuff around here to protect it. After all, but I don't know, quite interesting. So there we go, those are those ones. So let's talk about a couple of little bit points that actually no, we need to have a look at all this, don't we? We need to have a look at all of this. So what do I actually really like about it? So we've got different aircraft, and they're actually quite clearly different aircraft as well. So it's quite clear that there's 2 different sides on this. We've got these guys, which I quite like this. This is a really nice little design. Look at that. How cool is that? So I'm guessing they're laying sea mines of some kind, or something like that, or air mines even. Look, because they're dropping there. That's down there, so it goes up, and that one's been attached to it. So is that one of theirs, or has that been attached to it? I'm guessing these are like all little explosives. Ah, there we go. Look, it's been hit. So they're dropping onto the beach. They're actually floating above, and then they end up hitting against that and getting blown up. So that's pretty damn cool. So we've got that one there. That one's got a laser on it. I quite like that. And then we've got some of them which have got the mines, so I quite like there's 2 different styles, and you can see the lasers being fired out of them as well. So I would like to see a couple like maybe impacting on it, or a couple, maybe a craft blowing up or something like that. That'd be quite cool. And then the other side, I quite like these as well. These are really cool designs. So it looks like they've got like a shield type thing on the front, and then they move forward. I don't know where the guns are, but they can always be on the sides or whatever. It's either that or they're like battering ram craft, and then we've got the bigger ones. So these I'm guessing like more troop carrier type things. So we've got a bridge in here. So small bridge, I would expect, a couple more stations of some kind. They always look more stations on if you've ever been on like a warship or anything like that. Even like the old sailing ships, actually, they always have just tons and tons of like different stations around. It's just like, it's crazy, absolutely crazy, like how many different officers there are on it. So let's have a look in here. So we've got like another one of these. I quite like this. This looks very similar though to those there. So like are they the same people is what I'm thinking, you know? Because that, at first I was thinking, are they like two different species as a futuristic kind of D-Day? But actually now with this, I'm thinking they might be the same species, but invading each other, or this one's invading that one's lands. So it's interesting. So there we go, we got down in the belly of the ship. Got this dude here, which looks like he's got a cape. Really does look like he's got a cape. That is weird. I don't know how he's done that. And then here, I think this one's being blown up, or is no, it's not. There we go. Okay, so this is actually lifted by a big propeller type thing. So it's not got like what I was thinking, which is like repulsor technology. It has actually got a propeller, which is interesting actually. So whether this is still like a zoom, 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 and it's actually creating some sort of energy or whatever. And then this thing, what is this? This like a big gun type thing? Maybe? So it looks like it's firing something. Let's look at one of the other ones. Yes, so that must be some sort of gun. It does look like there's been copy and pasted, that's the only thing. Always edit them, always tweak them a little bit. But oh, there we go, look, some explosion. So that one's been exploded somehow, it's been hit. So maybe this was like a shield or something, I'm not too sure. That's dropped a mine, which, whether that's been connected onto it or not, I'm not too sure. But there we go. That one does look, oh. Aha. So there we go, that's the big laser then. So that big laser there goes over here, arcs over, and then hits it. I'm not too sure how that works. I'm not too sure I like how it would do that. I can always imagine them, you know, firing directly at it. Now, it could be, you know, if it is a big laser, they might have it on like some sort of big circular thing that rotates and is able to aim it. I'm not too keen on the arc for me. For me personally, I like it to be a line of sight type of thing, or, you know, if you can see a ship move and you're going to shoot in front of it and it's going to hit it at some point. If it's one of those, this guy, there we go. Shula got hit in the head by a little Death Star, there we go. So Shula, another guy, one of the donators, has been hit. And look, more capes. That is incredible. Is that... Oh, it's Electra. Ah, okay, okay. Now I understand it. Now I actually understand how it works. That's pretty damn cool. Okay. So there we go. These guys are all just doomed. They've properly been hit. I quite like this though. I really like how it's all in there. Maybe I really like the thing to exploded a little bit. But you know, the actual propeller. But that's interesting. There we go. So what about this one as well? So this one's the other one that's been hit. This one's been hit on the side. So let's have a look inside to see if there's any damage. Possibly there's like little bits of it missing. So I think this has kind of been hit on this side. Could have maybe been more exploded, possibly. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's really difficult because you never know when it's been hit. So quite interesting. So there we go, that one's been hit. So what improvements do I think could be made? Yeah, definitely underneath the beach. I think this could have continued on because it's all just glass underneath it. It could have been, you know, where you actually have it going down. Then this is where it gets difficult. You can't really put that in there. But what you could do, of course, is have that there. And on top, so then you layer that all the way across, and it'll make it look like it's under the ground. So if I just do a tiny little section here, and I'll reverse this afterwards. This is what I think potentially should go on. There we go. So that's something like that, but then gives you that kind of illusion that that is definitely water, because at the minute it looks like it just goes under it, and there's like, it's not so much an illusion, it just makes it look like this is floating. So I think that could have been done, definitely. Let me just reverse this now. See any problem? If only there was like a global magical undo without using world edit, you know, you could just do undo the last X blocks placements. I'm sure there is. The only other thing I would say to improve it would be whenever you have slabs, and especially with these kind of beaches, any sort of kind of like curving point. Say if you had, for example, 2 blocks, and you want to go down and have 2 blocks, then do it as an even thing, so you get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So what you'd end up having is actually pushing this in. Now with beaches in particular, you'd probably want to do something like this, where you push them back, whoops, and actually have something more like that to really smooth it out. And it'll just make it look a little bit more of a natural kind of, you know, make it look a little bit more natural, actually, is all I need to actually say with that. So I think that could definitely be done as well. And also the entire bit underground as well. I think if this was moved forwards a bit, mainly the land part of it, even the beach, even if the beach was right up to the edge of the plot, you could then have so much more going on with it underneath the ground, or maybe have trenches, or some part of a bigger base that makes you go, ah, okay, so they might get onto this part, but actually they are not going to be able to go any further. Something like that would be quite interesting. The only other thing I would say is, how do the troops get onto here? So, oh look, I didn't even notice that one. Oh look, I'm dead. Yeah, I'm definitely dead. Casualties of war, and also Bird's dead as well. Another one of the guys. How did I die first? Actually, yeah, it doesn't kind of make sense of my Mordhau playing and Bird's Mordhau playing. So there we go. So yeah, I think yeah, move this forwards. Really like the grass bits though, just a little bit more smoothing. Something under the water. I could also imagine, you know, troop landing ships as well. So they, even if they are futuristic and got flying ships, I can still imagine in the future having, you know, ships to actually get people across, because it's cheaper. You know, everybody's on an economy, even if you've got super flying ships and everything like that. I reckon they'd still have landing ships of some kind, even if you had like one ship that had like a shield on it, and then behind it you had, you know, 2 or 3 landing ships behind that, so that then you get the shield one up that's taking the, you know, hits from the big lasers, and then you get the landing ships to come out on the side, and then they start charging as individual men, where the big guns will just not be able to hit them because, well, they're running in. So I think that's the those are my kind of like tips in order to do it. Something underground would have been quite cool. It's a bit of one of those difficult things to do. And also, I don't like the yellow and red flowers. It feels like bone meal's been placed, which is absolutely fine. You can do bone meal's been placed, then you can use World Edit to switch those out, so you can do a percentage of those being different flowers. Is quite a good thing to do. Potentially, or maybe even put some bushes in, maybe put some trees in, make bits of it seem a little bit more hidden. And it's either that or also this bit. I cannot imagine that this still being perfect grass. I think they would have concreted it up. If they're going to go to the effort of putting in these kind of laser type things, I think they would have done something to the floor. Reason being, they would just want to solidify it. Otherwise, this could, you know, it could rain a lot. They've been walking around. This gets muddy. This then starts to fall down. These start to fall down, and that's it. But I do very much like these kind of designs. They're very, very cool. Potentially, again, for rain with the beds, you know, maybe like a little shelter. But even if it's just like there, goes out and goes onto some fences or something like that, I reckon they'd still have shelter for their troops in case of rain, unless it's a nice sunny place. You never know. But anyway, guys, that has been StijniStan's Futuristic D-Day plot, and that is the review of it. Let me know your comments in the section below. What do you guys like about the plot? What don't you like about the plot? You know, what can Stani improve on it? That'd be really cool. Oh, look, he's done exactly what I was thinking of doing. See, look, he can do it. This thing here, this right here is perfect. But this isn't, because it just looks like a straight line. But there you go, look, he did it. He did it here. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.